I've been avoiding Trials of Osiris like the plague for the last 6 years. But when I heard about the Aisha's Care Strand Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle, I had to suck it up and just go ahead and give it a shot and play the game mode. And guess what? I got a pretty killer roll on my first and really only drop I've gotten on this weapon. It's super solid in PvE, and in PvP, it falls right in line with the other Heavy Burst Pulse Rifles. The perk pull is pretty dang good, considering this is a strand weapon, and the stats are well-rounded, making it a weapon you don't want to miss out on, for sure. The only bummer is that it's locked behind Trials, which means a lot of players who can't or won't compete long enough to get it, but hey, more on that later. I'm JT Goonie, grab a snack and get comfy because we're about to dive into the stats, perks, and the best rolls you should be looking for on the Aisha's Care Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle. If you enjoy this Destiny 2 weapon review and find it helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. You can also catch me live on Twitch where I stream Destiny 2 on Mondays and Tuesdays. Join our Discord too, where you can find a fire team and make new friends in the Destiny 2 community. Links are down below. Now let's get started. Again, this weapon is locked behind Trials of Osiris, so go ahead and grab some bounties, hop into Trials. I would recommend solo queuing or stacking up with one other person, just so you're not, going up against full teams. The matchmaking in Trials is painful, but it is 1000% worth the grind because this weapon, like I said, is just top of the line here. I'm gonna shake things up a bit when I go over the stats this time. I want to compare Aisha's Care and the Nullify Raid Pulse Rifle from the Salvation's Edge Raid because they're two very, very similar weapons in terms of the stats that they have, but obviously one is solar, one is strand, so we're just gonna kind of make a distinction with the overall archetype here and not just single out Aisha's Care. I have made a video on the Nullify Pulse Rifle in full, so if you want to go check that video, I will leave a link in the description below. In that video, I mentioned that this was a very slow weapon, but barrel and mag perks are going to be bumping those up no problem. But for comparison's sake, let's put these two weapons side by side and see how they stack up in terms of stats. We'll see where one has the edge and the other has some trade-offs. This archetype is definitely stacked in terms of what is available to us. So starting with the impact, we've got a base impact stat of 35 across the board. We've got 79 range versus 80 range on Aisha's Care, 36 stability versus 39. We've got 29 handling versus 33 and a reload speed of 45 on Nullify. This is one area where I think that Nullify has the upper hand here. The reload speed is at 45. On Aisha's Care, we only have 40, so it is going to be a little bit slower, but there are definitely some ways to get that bumped up for you guys. And then the mag size on Nullify is 22. Mag size on Aisha's Care is 20. Breaking it down, Aisha's Care has a tiny bit more range, stability, and handling compared to the Nullify, but that extra 5 reload speed on the Nullify would have been nice to have. However, Aisha's Care is still a great weapon overall, so I wouldn't worry about that rate or that reload speed too much here. We've got a base magazine of 20. It might not be the most appealing choice for some players, but hey, you can always add magazine perks like light mag and flared magwell to bump up that capacity and or reload speed. Just keep those in mind when you're looking for what rolls to keep. The barrel and mag perk here are going to be very important. Now let's talk about the overall comparison here. If we're going to compare these two weapons, it's like comparing apples to apples, really. They're both pretty similar in this archetype. Corazian has its own thing going on, so we'll cover that gun later in the month because it definitely needs its own video. But if we're talking strictly stats here, the Nullify has the slight, and I mean ever so slight edge over Aisha's Care, and I mean slightly. Also, keep in mind that these are all the stats at base. Let's go ahead and get into these origin traits, which I think is going to be the first thing that pulls Aisha's Care away from the pack in terms of, the stats that it has. Aisha's Care, we've got some pretty cool origin traits that will keep you feeling fresh. I feel like the downside to Nullify is it has the one origin trait from the raid, and it's a good origin trait, but the options that you have here on Aisha's Care are going to throw this up over the top. First up, we have a Clarity. This trait gives you plus 20 range, plus 20 stability, and plus 50 reload speed, and plus 10 aim assist when you're the last survivor of your fire team or running solo. So if you're doing any solo activities and you need a strand weapon that is going to put out a lot of damage for and be super quick on the draw, this is going to be the one to go for you. I was recently running some dungeon solo, and honestly, this really, really clutched up for me. Next, we have One Quiet Moment. This trait increases your reload speed and handling when you're not in combat. Swords also get a movement speed boost. It's like giving you a little bit of break to catch your breath and get ready for your next fight. This does immediately turn off as soon as you fire and hit an enemy, but it does give you that bump in reload speed. So if your mag is empty, just dip out for a couple seconds, reload, come back in, you should be good to go. And finally, we have Omelon Fluid Dynamics. This trait gives you plus 20 stability and plus 30 reload speed for the first 50% of the magazine. It's like your gun is extra smooth and responsive when you first start shooting. But you know, if we're, you know, pulling a rabbit out of the hat here, that 20 stability and 30 reload speed is really what we're in it for. That top half of the magazine, you fired 10 shots and it should just be blazing fast on the reload here for you guys. Now, if I had to pick one of these traits, I'm definitely going to go with Omlan Fluid Dynamics. It's a solid all-around trait that works well in most situations. Clarity is great if you're confident in your survival skills for those GMs, you know, solo content, that kind of stuff. And One Quiet Moment is a good choice if you like to take your time in between fights, but ultimately the best trait for you depends on your playstyle. So experiment with them and see which one feels best. Let me know down in the comments which one you guys have been using on this pulse rifle, or just in general on any weapon, which one of these traits, you know, stands out the most to you. Now, for my favorite part of the video, let's talk about perks. On offer in perk column 3, we've got Keep Away, Slice, Zen Moment, To the Pain. You controller players are going to love that one on this weapon. Gunshot Straight, Encore, and lastly, we have Under Pressure. PvE standouts in this slot are going to be Slice and Keep Away for me. Keep Away is like one of my all-time favorite perks, and Slice, y'all know what it is. Using your class ability just to get, you know, severing rounds, bro, that is going to be the one that I'm looking out for. Slice states, casting your class ability allows this weapon to sever targets on a hit for a brief duration, up to a maximum number of targets. The dopest part of this whole perk is that it can be refreshed if you hit a target that isn't already severed. And the cherry on top is that if you hit an immune target, you can still get Slice to proc. Dope. Keep Away is another solid option here on Aisha's Care, stating increases reload, range, and accuracy when no targets are in close proximity. This is a heavy burst pulse rifle, which automatically makes it one of the hardest hitting pulse rifles in the game. Then on top of that, you're throwing that base range up to 90, damn near maxing it out. You're also squeezing a little bit more reload speed out of it by getting a plus 30 reload speed bump. Keep Away went from making this weapon super slow on the reload to making it blazing fast when you pair it with Omlan Fluid Dynamics. It's literally a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with that. I would say that Encore and Under Pressure are a few other options here for PvE. The slot, in my eyes, is all about keeping stats high or debuffing targets, which the perks we have on offer do a great job of. In PvP, I'm going to say that To the Pain and Zen Moment are going to be the two top picks here. I have to advocate for To the Pain in PvP. Ever since this perk was introduced in the final shape, I love it. And on any weapon that may have a low handling stat, Aisha's Care has decent handling, but an increase is an increase, am I right? This perk states, while this weapon is equipped, taking damage increases handling and aim assist until the weapon is stowed. Taking more damage increases this effect. So with the recoil direction being 79, I feel like this is going to definitely give you guys the upper hand with that increased aim assist. This is, you know, a fantastic perk. This is going to stack up to 10 times, but we don't have exact numbers for this one yet. So once those start coming out, I'll go ahead and pin a comment on this video, so you guys feel free to take a look later on down the road. If you remember, I'll pin it here and it'll also be in the Discord. I've got some notes going there. Zen Moment has been around for a while and is an amazing option for pulse rifles in general, but here in this archetype, it shines because Aisha's Care being a 2-round burst, there are less shots to miss, providing you a little bit more ease of use. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on this one, but I think Zen Moment is going to be the one you want for PvE, for PvP 100%. To the Pain, you know, To the Pain and Zen Moment. Keep Away might also be good in PvP. I would just give it a shot. Let me know what you guys think. In column 4, we have some tasty options: Hatchling, Collective Action, Desperado, Golden Tricorn, which is a perk that I've been using a lot on it, Head Seeker, Kill Clip, and Moving Target. My first choice for PvE in this slot are going to be Desperado. Reloading after a precision final blow increases your rate of fire. Crits is the name of the game here, and with this buff to pulse rifles against red bore enemies, you should be able to keep this perk active a lot. Finishing a reload within 5.2 seconds of a precision kill reduces firing delay by about 30% for 6 seconds, and it does refresh if you get another precision hit. So great for mowing down ads, and if you have Slice, you can spread sever so much faster. Hatchling is going to be my next pick here because strand builds have an amazing synergy here. Being able to spread threadlings around on precision kills or rapid final blows will be great for keeping the field clear in ad dense situations. I'm thinking of like Onslaught. I'm thinking of, you know, Nightfalls. I'm thinking of raids, that kind of stuff. This is going to be one that you're going to want to have just in case. Collective Action is another awesome perk here because with the amount of elemental pickups available these days, this is going to be buffing weapon damage pretty much all the time. This perk states collecting elemental pickups or throwing a strand tangle. This is a strand weapon, so more than likely we'll be creating strand tangles. Grants a stacking period of increased damage. Elemental pickups are things like fire spites, void breaches, stasis shards, ionic traces, and strand tangles. And again, if you're running a strand build, you're going to be having tangles pretty much everywhere. Pick them up, throw them, damage buff. And that takes us into PvP. Golden Tricorn and Head Seeker are the two best PvP options here, but Kill Clip, in my opinion, is a solid choice in slot 4. No, it's not the best perk in the slot, but with the reload speed bumps we can get here, the small magazine size, I could see a very powerful Guardian making this perk work here. After getting a kill, you get a flat 25% damage buff to this weapon, making your next kill even easier, especially paired with To the Pain or Zen Moment. You're basically lasering people, doing 25% more damage across the board here. The perks in slot 3 and 4 aren't meant to steal the show in any way, shape, or form, but I would bet my favorite weapon in my vault that Aisha's Care was the model weapon for the new archetype and the potential these weapons have. Nullify had Incandescent and Kill Clip, and it's an arrayed exclusive perk, Chaos Reshape, and Corrasion has Volt Shot in any current. Now it's Strand's turn with Slice and Hatchling. Now we just need to convince Bungie to give us a Void and Stasis weapon in the Heavy Burst Pulse world, and then I'll be a happy camper. Moving into perk combos, first up, I'm looking at Zen Moment and Desperado for PvP. Landing a Precision Final Blow will give you that RPM bump, and with Zen Moment giving you more stability, you can absolutely melt your ops. Aisha's Care has a 39 stability, and Zen Moment is just going to give you even more. Like I said, Kill Clip can be super potent on this weapon in the right hands. Pair that with Keep Away, your long range engagements are going to be super easy. Keep Away is going to give you that range you need to chain those long range kills back to back, and Kill Clip is going to give you that 25% damage buff for chaining those kills back to back. Lastly, I'm going to say Zen Moment and Head Seeker. Head Seeker is going to give you more damage towards your next crit for hitting body shots. We haven't even mentioned the +10 aim assist you get, making those crits even easier. I know I will be using this role in PvP just because I don't always hit my shots, especially crits, but this is going to help me out for sure. And if you're anything like me, try this role out. Let me know what you think. PvE, strand weapons across the board are pretty much slappers because of how well they fit into pretty much any build out there, especially with prismatic. I'm pretty sure you guys have already figured out which roles are going to be best for PvE, but let's go over them for those in the back. Slice and Desperado is the first role I want to talk about today. Desperado is going to make this weapon fire twice as fast, with Slice applying Sever to enemies, even the immune ones. This is just going to become a strand debuff hose. 8 seconds is how long you have to refresh this buff, and all you have to do is shoot an enemy that hasn't already been affected by Sever. The role I have been using during all of my testing here is Slice and Golden Tricorn. We just went over Slice and how awesome it is, but the Golden Tricorn has this certain fun factor to it. The charge melee you get with the grapple grenade will proc Golden Tricorn ×2, granting this weapon 50% more damage. How nuts is that? I recently uploaded a video going over that build. I'll leave a link down below that utilizes the grappling grenades and Aisha's Care. If you want to go see that video, again, link will be down in the description with a dim link to that loadout if you want to try it out yourself. Keep Away and Hatchling are going to be the two perks that go pretty well in terms of keeping the field clear from a distance. Keep Away is going to grant you that +10 range, +30 reload speed. This is a role I have been using a lot, and it seems to be one of the better options. You don't need to put yourself at risk while still doing some pretty decent damage. For ratings, like I said before, the mag size and reload speed leave a little bit to be desired to the best weapon in this archetype. But that being said, this weapon has the upper hand with origin traits we have on offer, as well as some of the perk options being able to help out a lot. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 in the stats department. This is a great perk pool. It really, really is. I would have liked to see something like Air Trigger here or high impact reserves with the magazine being so small. Heck, I would have even taken Enlightened Action here, but I will say this gets a solid 7 because the perks we do have synergize perfectly with anything strand. So it gets the pass here. I'm going to give perks a 7 out of 10. Overall, I'm feeling so mixed with this weapon at the moment. I landed on 7 because in PvE, this weapon is very situational. You have to be running a strand class. You have to be wanting to use a pulse rifle. You have to be wanting to debuff with Slice. You know, there are very situational things here, but in PvP, this weapon really shows you what it can do. The archetype of pulse rifle this is definitely has its place in the meta, and I can't wait to see other options as we get into the future of Destiny here and more of these archetypes come out. So if you found this weapon review on the Aisha's Care Strand Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle helpful, hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite role on Aisha's Care, and don't forget to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Also, join our Discord to find fire teams, share your roles, and discuss all things Destiny. Links are down below. Happy hunting, Guardians.